Okay, so posing in front of a Christmas tree in the Christmas pyjamas with his family, absolutely fine. What about eating a traditional meal, and as long as it's halal, and giving each other presents, etc.? Would that be frowned upon by the Islamic religion?
What he does, Mo Salah, what he does and what he doesn't do, doesn't define Islam. It's Mo Salah's choice. Mo Salah is not going around saying, hey guys, I'm the mufti in town and I'll do anything I want and you guys must follow me because I'm saying is Islamic or non-Islamic. Mo Salah is not saying that. So therefore, what Mo Salah is doing is a personal choice and we have to respect that. That's his choice. Now, whether he wants to wear pajamas, sit in front of the tree, or underneath the tree, or outside, that's none of my business. Should we give presents to each other? As Muslims, we don't celebrate Christmas because Christmas as a concept is to do with Christianity. And as Muslims, we have a very different take and a very different attitude to God and divinity, and also the space of Jesus. Jesus has a very important role to play in Islam as a prophet. Jesus is not Son of God, nor is he God himself. We don't believe Jesus was crucified. So, theologically...
Do you believe he was born in a stable on Christmas Day?
Well, we believe that Jesus was born out of a miracle. God created Jesus without the Father, just like Muslims believe, also Christianity believes, that God created Adam without father and mother. Whether he was born in a stable, whether he was born in Christmas, I haven't got a clue, because there is no...
So the three kings, the angel, the shepherds, that's just myth.
I can't say it's a myth because there is no historical, archaeological, definitive proof to suggest which day where he was born. But we know Jesus came or was born in the region of Jerusalem, Palestine, that area. And he was born in a Jewish family, we know that. He was born from an amazing woman called Mary. There is a chapter of the Quran called Mary. In fact, there is no other chapter by any other woman in Islam except by Mary, Jesus' mother's name. And it describes the entire story of Jesus in a very elaborate manner. Muslims also believe in Jesus' birth as a miracle, that Jesus spoke in his cradle, in testifying his mother's chastity. He called people saying, I am only a servant of God like anybody else is. I'm not the son of God, nor am I God myself. So Muslims believe in all of that. But if Christians believe something different, Muslims must respect their belief and not shun them, not deride them, and not mock them at all.
Okay, do you believe that it is the sort of right of any Muslim, whether you're practicing or not, maybe to go to church on Christmas Day? Would that be a sin?
Wrong question.
Wrong question.
I can't answer for God what is a sin and what is not a sin. Let me make it easier for you.
Go on.
If I'm a Muslim, practicing Muslim, I would not go to a church for a religious festivity. But if I'm invited to an event in a church, I'm invited many a times. I go and speak, I attend events, etc. All I'm not allowed to do is partake in other people's worship as a Muslim.
Right, Muslim. Okay. However, so you could turn up to a church service but without maybe praying or singing?
Yes, of course. And I've been to many church services where I've done none of that. I've just stood there, I spoke at the event. And just like Christians, a Jewish person, or person of other faith are welcome to come to the mosque. And they can stand there and watch what we're doing. They don't have to take part in anything. Our religions are open, and that's what we need to talk about. Nobody is forcing anybody to go to a church and take part in the practice. You can stand there and watch. It's an open space. Some Muslims, unfortunately, and I would also say some Christians or people of other faith, some of us lack confidence in our faith, and we maybe even suffer from some inferiority complex. I think we should shun all of those, put them aside, and look at human beings as human beings and say, hey, it's a festive period for my neighbors, for my families, for my friends. We wish them all the best.
Just answer me this. I'm speaking to Imam Ajmal Masroor, who's an imam from Southgate Mosque in London. What sort of year, this sounds like a crass question, but what sort of year has it been for the Islamic faith worldwide, would you say?
Do you know what? I think I've got to bring in World Cup into this whole discussion. I know you love it. Qatar hosting World Cup has done a huge service, actually, in promoting the values of Islam. I'll tell you why. Qatar has demonstrated to the world that actually you can be a good Muslim, you can be a principled Muslim, and you can have fun and game in an international setting without having to compromise any of your main principles. Qatar has also demonstrated that it was open enough to invite all the local Arab countries that have been fighting between each other for years and years, and most of them have been run by despots and dictators, not being able to come together to do anything good. Qatar has also demonstrated something quite unique, and that is you can have fun without alcohol, without having to reduce yourself down to a level of uncontrolled bad behavior. I'm not condoning Qatar for not being democratic. I have spoken up against dictatorship, unelected leadership. I have. Those things we need to talk about. So it's been a good year to end for Muslims because we've seen suddenly an amazing surge in the Muslim confidence and our identity. Overall, globally, as Muslim in Britain, I think it's a fantastic time to be a Muslim. There are, of course, difficult times we are facing. We have cost of living on the rise. We run a food bank from our mosque. We have so many people bracing the rain and the snow to come and take food. These are sad realities of all our communities. We need to stand together, and we need to stand together in averting all wars, difficulties that human beings are facing. So, good, bad, and the ugly, I'm afraid.
Let me. Well, I wasn't going to ask a supplementary question because I had no idea you were going to mention the World Cup. But seeing as you do, were you offended by, let's call it, the West's protests at the beginning and before the World Cup that seemed to go on for ages and ages about, say, gay rights and the law and what you could and couldn't do in a Muslim country? Were you offended by that at all?
I wasn't offended. I was just, to be honest with you, I was just sitting there thinking, so hypocritical of us.
Yeah.
We bombed the life out of Afghanistan for 20 years. It was okay. We invaded Iraq illegally. It's been okay. We've been watching Syrian butchered by a regime that we supported before, but then we turned a blind eye. We allowed Russia to get away with genocide in Syria. We did nothing about it. Suddenly, we now start preaching to the world about Qatar's human rights abuse. I don't understand it. I think it was these hypocrisies that made me angry in some ways, confused in other ways, but also thinking, I don't understand the West. It's my country, it's my home. Why are we being such hypocrites? We need to be consistent on our call for democracy around the world, freedom for all people. It should not only be Qatar when it comes to Qatar. Unfortunately, what these protests and all this, I don't know, what should I call it, hissifit by some media organizations, indicated to me is that there is a hypocrisy, there is a double standard, and a blatant Islamophobia at play. A lot of us have spoken about it. Is this actually the subliminal hatred of the Arab world and the Muslim world that has dogged the West for so long that is coming to, the forefront right now? All of those questions we have asked ourselves. The truth is, Qatar has proven itself to actually have ridden this awful tide and won the entire challenge. A lot of people have written, actually this World Cup was won by 3 people. The World Cup itself was won by Messi and Argentina.
Yes.
World Cup was also won by Qatar.
Yes.
And also World Cup was won by the Muslims.
I thought you were going to say Infantino there for a minute. But no.
No.
He definitely didn't win it. Are you, as an imam, are you allowed to be given praise? Do you get big heads? Are you allowed to be egoed a bit?
No.
Can I read out something nice about you or not?
Yeah.
Are you allowed that? Okay, this is
Yeah,
Ross. What an eloquent and interesting chap this imam is. Religion should be all about tolerance and love. Too often we forget this. Some really interesting thoughts there, Ajmal. Thank you so much for coming on, and happy Christmas to you.
That's the precise message that we need to all take away. Christmas, Diwali, Eid, all of those celebrations.